Hey, welcome back to RamZland. Today I want to show you the double displacement reaction between copper-2 and potassium ferrocyanide. Check this out.
This reaction will use two graduated cylinders with 200 milliliters of distilled water, potassium ferrocyanide, copper-2 and a petri dish. Begin by measuring out 2 grams of copper-2. Next, measure out 2 grams of potassium ferrocyanide. Now you're ready to add your copper-2 to your 200 milliliters of distilled water in your first graduated cylinder. And you'll stir that until it becomes aqueous. And then do the same for your potassium ferrocyanide. Add that to your second graduated cylinder of 200 milliliters of distilled water. And both of these are highly soluble in water, so you won't have to stir it very long for it to become aqueous. In order to get a different view of the precipitate in this reaction, I'm going to pour a little bit of our aqueous solution of potassium ferrocyanide into a petri dish.
And now we're ready for the best part. When I pour my copper-2 over my potassium ferrocyanide, the metal ions will trade places and the non-metals will trade places. So the copper will trade places with the potassium and the ferrocyanide will trade places with the sulfate to create an insoluble precipitate that looks very brown, and that'll be the copper ferrocyanide. So here we go. You can see that brown precipitate starting to form. Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Here's another view with our petri dish. You can see that copper ferrocyanide precipitate form instantly. Just look at that.
Here's the balanced equation for this amazing double displacement precipitation reaction. We start with the reactants copper-2 and potassium ferrocyanide. We have 2 moles of copper-2, that's the 2CuSO4, and 1 mole of potassium ferrocyanide, that's the K4Fe. When those are combined in an aqueous solution, we get the products copper ferrocyanide and potassium sulfate. We have 1 mole of copper ferrocyanide, that's the Cu2Fe, that's the insoluble precipitate, and we have 2 moles of potassium sulfate, that's the 2K2SO4 in this awesome reaction.
I hope you enjoyed today's edition of RamZland, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this presentation, be sure to remember to like and subscribe.